Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Inside Movies Galore. I am with one of my actually, one of my closest friends from my childhood, who remains to, whether he wants to be anonymous or not. Would you like to say your name or no?
My name is Link
Okay,
Awoken
I'll work with
with
that.
this right on the bottom, right
And my
there.
my nickname is Wolfman, otherwise known as Dave. I'll go by my real name, but hey,
Your name's Dave? I've
yeah,
been calling you Dan all these years.
shit. Well, I got to correct you on that because Dan, Dave, whatever, fucking a. Anyways, so what is your earliest memory of film? When you were you? What was the first movie that you ever saw?
Sadly, it was Beauty and the Beast in the theaters.
The animated version?
Yeah, from like 90 or 91, something like that.
Okay.
It was a
See,
school field trip.
my earliest memory of a film, I would have to say is not in a theater. Uh,
Oh, the film. I have a memory of watching Coming to America when I was like 5.
when I was 5, I watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and that scared the shit out of me.
That's a
Uh,
good movie for a 5-year-old to watch. Nice
uh,
clowns in it. Ice cream trucks.
hey, there was a guy that his name was Dave in there, and it freaked me the fuck out when that fat clown put his hand in that one cop. Although I didn't realize that's what he was doing at the time. But my earliest memory of anything dealing with film is when I was 3, and my parents took me to Disney World, where they actually somewhat lost me when I was 3 years old, or 3 or 4, something like that. And
Oh, that's nice.
my mom and dad had actually videotaped me getting lost. And it was funny because my mom eventually taped one of her So Perfect things on it over the tape, and I was like, "Mom." But
Unlike one of those giant camcorders.
yeah, one of the gigantic camcorders, because at that time you could take and rent one of these suckers at the Walt Disney Studios and like
Oh,
actually watch the thing rewind and shit like that.
so it was probably branded with all Disney crap. There was probably Mickey ears on it and shit.
Probably, I would have to say, but I
They do
remember
have
running
that.
after Pooh Bear. But that was my first. But believe it or not, my mom would sit me in front of the television and make me watch some animated films. And later, I found out exactly what they were. Um, what were some of your first animations that you were subjected to?
Animation subjected to. I remember watching a lot of DuckTales
Okay,
and Tailspin.
okay. I remember watching those, and if you're thinking along those lines, I remember Darkwing Duck. Let's
Darkwing
get
Duck.
dangerous. Darkwing Duck. Or
Oh, was it
Chip and Dale Rescue
Rescue
Rangers.
Rangers? Yeah, I love that show. Me and my brother had a Chippendale plush dolls.
Oh shit!
I remember I also had a plush doll of Elf.
Really?
Yeah,
Of Elf from
Elf.
uh,
Alien life form Elf. Yes.
okay.
I
The
love that show. Still
the
do.
television, the comedy. See, around that time, I'm not sure if you remember there was a television show that was on either before or afterwards and was called Out of This World.
I knew you were gonna say
Um,
that. I knew you were gonna say that. I wanted to say it right before you did.
a little girl who pressed her fingers together and could stop everything.
That kind of reminds me of Vicky from what the hell's the name of that show? Small Wonders.
Okay, I can see that. So I wanted to say a bit of how you and I sort of met. Um, we met through a mentor that was given to us by the state. Um, yeah, the state. Uh, it sounds so official, the state, but
It does.
um, um, I had actually gotten myself in trouble with my school system, and then the school system kicked me out, and I eventually had to find my way. And the state put me with a program called Wraparound, and they
I remember
found
that around.
several people who wanted to be mentors until eventually one named Brian ended up bringing me to movies and different things. I forget exactly the first moment I met you. Do you remember?
I remember it really well. We were about 10, both hammered.
What?
No, I don't know.
I think
No, I don't remember it.
I think he had us hang out separately from you and your brother at
Yeah, I
first.
think so too. That sounds accurate.
And then there was a moment where he had both of you at once.
I remember riding back to Oak Creek when I lived in Milwaukee to drop you off, and
That
then
was
I eventually moved out there.
that was when you were living with your stepdad.
Now I was living with my mom.
You were living with your mom at the time.
Mhm. My
Okay.
mom never remarried.
Okay. I didn't know that you were living with your mom at the time.
Yeah,
I
I lived.
lived with Kevin for a time.
Yeah, I lived with Kevin for a time. That was in Oak Creek. That was after I met you, actually.
Okay, because we ultimately ended up going to the same high school,
Yeah, it was weird.
which was freaky. Because
Yeah,
then we started hanging out around the same ports. But anyways, getting back to
yeah.
movies, um, what movies influence you or mean something to you?
Influenced me. Uh, I
Influence
don't know.
influenced you, made an impact on you.
Let's see. An effect on me. A lot of Tim Burton movies, I think.
Okay.
Just because I like Tim Burton, I like kind of like exploring the dark side.
Okay.
But I
So
don't
what's
know, for influencing me.
favorite Tim Burton movie then?
Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas. Uh, it's kind of a tie between Nightmare and Edward Scissorhands, actually.
Okay. I like those, but I also like Beetlejuice for some reason.
Beetlejuice. You
I
know what it is?
you can't really get away from Beetlejuice, and I'm not going to say his name
No, you
again
really
because
can't.
yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, he might disappear.
what's
Um,
interesting, I used
my
to
favorite
watch
part
the
of
cartoon.
the cart. I remember the cartoon being.
I actually didn't mind it, but
But my favorite part of
all right.
Beetlejuice is when they're both in bed after they die and they wake up. The first thing I think the first thing that Alec Baldwin does is he rolls over. Yeah, he rolls over, and it reveals that Gina Davis is floating, and then she falls to the ground, and she looks up all surprised, like what? That's probably my favorite part of the movie.
My
I mean,
favorite.
there's so many good scenes in that movie.
I know, right? There's the part where they're all having dinner and all those fingers come
Oh
popping
yeah,
up out of their fucking shit, and then
yeah,
of course
the shrimp hand.
the ending with the half the legs, and he gets his head sprinkled and shrunken.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of course, the dead football team that arrives on the other side. That was random, but
The coach. They
yeah.
kept calling her coach. I'm not your coach.
But and then of course the part where they're supposed to come up with a way to scare people, and
Oh yeah.
they pull their inside the inside of their faces out, and what's her name um, doesn't get scared.
Lydia.
Yeah, Lydia. Yeah.
There was a line in that movie where Lydia tells them that or that she can see them, and then they ask him, "How is it that you can see us when no one else can?" And she says, "Well, I read through that book, and it says people ignore the strange and unusual.
Okay.
I myself am strange and unusual." I always like that line. That's
I
probably my favorite line in the movie.
I like that line too, and there are so many. I believe Beetlejuice is one of those films that can be quotable, requotable. You know, I mean, you see
Yeah.
it, you remember the damn lines. So
Nice fucking model.
I know which one.
No, that's the line Beetlejuice said when he knocked over the tree. He's like,
Oh.
"Nice fucking model," and he grabs his crotch.
I was thinking that you were looking in the back, like, okay, what model is it back there?
Oh, yeah.
But no, I now one thing I knew about you is that you like a lot of anime. So if you
I
like
do. I do enjoy my anime.
Japanese animation, what are some of your favorite Japanese animations?
Well, Brian, actually going back to Brian, gave me a copy for My Neighbor Totoro,
Really?
and I actually watched the crap out of that movie.
Okay.
But as far as shows go, I'm a fan of DBZ. More Dragon
Okay.
Ball than DBZ, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or
I
not,
like the movie Paprika. That was great. Let's
I
see.
have not checked that one out as of yet.
FMA was pretty good. Full Metal Alchemist was pretty good.
When I was a
Cowboy Bebop
child,
series.
okay, I own the movie of that. I just haven't checked out the series yet. I know from time to time
Pretty good,
at Walmart
actually.
they would have it for like $20 from time to time. I haven't just gone out and gotten it. But
I did.
when I
I
was a
did.
kid,
However, I did buy a bunch of DBZ tapes when they came out. Sorry, go
bunch of
ahead.
what? Oh, I
I
was
bought a
going to
bunch of
say that
Dragon
my
Ball Z tapes when it came out.
tapes, VHS tapes.
Yeah, cassette tapes. Yeah.
Wow, I've never heard of those. I mean, those were like back in what like Dark Ages. Man, I haven't held one of those in like forever. You still have them?
I think it was. I think it was during the Civil War, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
So,
okay.
13
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
19th century.
Unfortunately, us vampires, we have to coexist. But anyways, moving on to
Oh, yeah.
when my mom used to subject me to a film, she didn't realize she subjected me to some anime as well. And I wanted to see if you actually saw any of these.
I have not seen
Unico,
Unico.
Unico in the Fantastic Adventures of Unico is the first one, and then the second one is Unico and the Island of Magic, where there was this small purple-haired unicorn, and this creature named Beasley, at least in the second one. And then there was a creature that looked, I swear to God, it could have been like the um, a copycat of Heathcliff. I swear to fucking God. But you can find these on YouTube for free, I think, if you wanted to check them out. But they were cutesy, they were fun, and those were Japanese animations that I realized down the road. And I ended up picking up copies of now because of my friends online. I did finally get to see my neighbor Totoro. I actually
it's a pretty good movie.
It's kidsy, but yeah, it is pretty good. I like the big, large cat, and I love the bus. I love the cat bus.
Yeah, the bus was great.
I want that cat bus. I looked up
my actual first experience with anime.
Go ahead.
Oh, my actual first experience with anime was when I was about 10, and before I went to school, they showed reruns of Sailor Moon on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first experience with anime.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the different style.
That was my first run-in with anime, but it wasn't my first run-in with Japanese films. When I was a kid, there was a something that was called the Nutcracker Fantasy, and it was something that was on the order of like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and things of that nature, claymation.
Yeah.
And it turns out that this production was actually Russian and Japanese. And it had Christopher Lee as the voice of the clockmaker. And then it went kind of through the story of the Nutcracker.
I'm trying to get my camera right here. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Oh, there we go.
Your audio is perfect, though.
That's good.
So, what is a film that you've recently seen and you've liked?
That I've recently seen and liked? Jeez, that's a very tough question.
Didn't you watch Spider-Man and like it?
Oh, I did. I actually did see Far From Home, and it wasn't bad. I kind of liked it.
You kind of
should have been called. It should have been called. He's Not Iron Man, the movie. I mean, how many times did they remind him that he's not Iron Man?
Yeah, titles are not Disney's forte, and I say Disney because Disney owns Marvel now.
You own Marvel, but the Spider-Man franchise is owned by Sony.
That's true, but therein lies the crux of the situation, that Disney has its hand in everything. So,
Disney's evil.
What's your favorite
that's another favorite action film.
Mm-hmm.
Probably The Fifth Element.
The Fifth Element. That one's not bad. Yeah. That one's not bad. If I had to choose an action film, I'd have to choose The Last Action Hero.
The Expendables.
Last Action Hero.
Those movies.
Last Action Hero. That one was fun.
That's a pretty good one too, actually.
That one and Demolition Man, if I had to choose action. Comedy.
I think I actually said well.
Which one? Demolition Man?
Demolition Man.
Well, I know. I was just recently watching An American Werewolf in Paris, and that was one that Brian took me to. So,
yeah. He took me to
Let's
see a bunch of
see.
Jim Carrey movies because I like Jim Carrey.
I think oh, yeah, he took me to see Me, Myself, and Irene.
I saw that with him. I think we both saw that together actually. We
We
might
did.
have.
Yeah, we might have. That might have been one of the because we did watch a couple of movies together, or at least one. That
He took me to see
was
the Truman Show,
okay.
Cable Guy, which is the first serious Jim Carrey movie. Doesn't seem like a serious Jim Carrey movie, but
Yeah.
he plays a really fucked up dude.
Well, Cable Guy and
Liar Liar I saw with him.
okay. So he must have been really into Jim Carrey, or you might have been.
I was very into Jim Carrey.
My favorite Jim Carrey movie is The Mask, and it will always be.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I wish that when they did the son of the mask, that they would have used him. That was so sucked.
Yeah, that movie was just awful.
Inexcusable. There was no reason for it.
No, there was absolutely no reason for that movie. It's not like people wanted another mask.
So let's see. Now,
Yeah, instead of Jim Carrey, they got Jamie Kennedy.
yeah, he's been on a lot of shit lately.
Nobody else wanted to do it. Nobody else needed the money.
To me,
I think
Brian
probably my
took me
favorite Jim
to.
Carrey movie.
Yeah,
Oh, would probably be the Truman Show. Strangely enough,
really.
yeah,
That
I
was
really enjoy that
actually
movie.
where the man what was it? Is
He
no,
was
that's not the one. That's not the one where he was a man who was in like didn't realize he was his own show, right?
yeah, that was that. That was the
That's
one
what I
where he
thought.
was. Yeah, his whole life was
A
planned
drama.
out and plotted. Yeah, his
Yeah,
friends were picked for him. Yeah, it was crazy.
I think
Have you
one of
seen
the
The
movies.
Majestic?
Yes, I believe that was a
That's
remake
another great movie.
too. I believe that was a remake too,
It might have been. It seems like it
because
because it was set there in the 50s.
yep. I think my favorite movie that I saw with Brian was actually a movie called The King of Masks.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if you saw it, but I saw it. He took me to the Oriental Theater to see it, and that was about a girl, a young girl, a Japanese girl. Of course, it was subtitled. It was my first subtitled movie that wasn't a Godzilla movie. um, and a little girl
Godzilla.
who ended up, yeah, she ended up like it's not that she was related to this mask maker, but she evidently was the victim of a royal. She was like a princess, and she didn't know that she was. And she grew up in the mask maker's presence, and once she grew to be of age, he told her that she was royalty. And when she made a mask for the king of China or whatever, the emperor of China, I think she made the most beautiful mask or some shit. But it was an interesting film. Forget who directed it or whatnot at the moment. I still have to get a copy of it for myself.
You don't have a copy in the like 10,000 movies you own?
Hey, I'm still working on it. I have like 10 movies coming tomorrow, man. Amongst them, the limited edition of An American Werewolf in London. So kiss my butt.
Del Toro?
Not Del Toro. The first film to this, the one that I just watched
Oh
tonight.
yeah.
And actually, apparently, this the film that I watched, An American Werewolf in Paris, those characters were based on characters in An American Werewolf in London. So I want to go back and see who the fuck those characters were again, even though I already have the DVD. I don't know. There's something about them Arrow editions. There's a difference in quality.
I don't know many DVDs anymore.
Oh, you don't own many DVDs?
Oh, yeah.
So you're a Blu-ray fan?
No.
You're not a Blu-ray fan.
No, I mean, like, I don't own many movies at all anymore.
Oh, so but if you had the money and you could save the money, would you be a collector?
I would absolutely be a collector. I have a lot of TV show collections too, actually.
So you have
movies.
TV shows.
Yeah, I actually own a TV, but don't own a movie or a movie. I don't own a DVD player at the moment.
Well, I'm sure that can eventually be arranged where you actually can have a DVD player. Eventually,
oh yeah,
your situation will get better.
Actually, I have a DVD player coming sometime next week. It's all good.
Really?
Yeah. I know somebody who owned a store in Racine has a bunch of the store went under and has a bunch of merch. And they're gonna sell me a DVD player in box for $10.
That's not bad.
No. I was gonna get one from Family Dollar for $30, and then this fell into my lap, actually.
So, what movies do you want to see?
Do I want to see?
Yeah.
Jeez. I still haven't seen any of the Lupin the Third movies, which saddens me, actually. Yeah, it saddens me a lot.
Well, I know I at least have the first two. The Castle of Cagliostro.
Yeah.
Was pretty decent. I wish I could actually. I could maybe eventually because I don't know how your phone. Although this phone is better than your last phone.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My last phone was. It's around here somewhere, actually. But it was so old that it had a full keyboard on it still.
Well, this one is a far cry from your other one. I remember it being on that other one. So this video is at least a little better.
Oh yeah.
And I update. You're seeing from my new web cam, which I got like a month ago. So.
Yeah, you were talking about getting that webcam. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. So, I swear to God, the difference was it looked like your camera right now. No offense.
Oh.
Where it was blocking.
No, none taken, actually. This is I think it's like a 5 or 8 megapixel.
So, but
I saw something that I didn't do earlier, and I had to do it.
Oh, that's okay. So, this is one of the movies.
No, it's good. I took care of it.
This is one of the movies that I actually took part of.
Wrestle
Massacre.
Hustle?
Wrestle Massacre.
Massacre.
And I don't know if you see the executive producer on that baby.
I do not, but I assume it says David Striggy.
Yeah, it does. It says, yeah. This is number 5 out of 100, and second line, right, kind of near. Oh, yep, it's right there. I don't know if you could see that. Your phone is so small, probably. But that was one of the ones that I put
I kind
some
of
money.
saw it. Well, oh shit! My bad.
But that was
They flipped the camera.
last year. That was last year already. Oh, let's see. I'll show you my more. I'm going to show you my most recent one.
Babes in Toyland 3.
Bride of the Werewolf. It's on Blu-ray.
Ooh, Blu-ray.
And DVD. It's on Blu-ray. I got another one that I've got. I've got another one that's on Blu-ray and DVD. Camp Blood Kills. I ended up getting to know one of the big producers from California. He was originally from Chicago, and his name is David Sterling. So I've been executively producing behind some of his features lately. So it's been kind of cool. But you still with me? All right. That's okay. From time to time, it may do that.
Yeah, that's all right.
So, anyways, going back to, are there any movies that you have watched or seen that you may want to talk about from your memory banks?
Sticking to the Jim Carrey theme that we had a minute ago. I kind of want to talk about Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine. Well, why don't you tell me about it?
Well,
your experience.
It's about a sunshine.
What was your reaction to it at the time?
Well,
okay.
You know Mandy Kappelman.
I know her. Yes.
Just a fantastic human being, and all around.
She is. I agree. I like many of her songs. She is a local artist. Yeah. For those of you who don't know of her, Mandy Kappelman. We went to high school with her. But yeah, she turned you on. She turned you on to the movie.
Yeah, actually, she had it in her place, and I used to she was dating a friend of mine at the time, and
I remember
we used to all hang out together. And she had a few movies. She had Amelie, which was probably my favorite foreign movie. She had Eternal Sunshine, which was a Jim Carrey movie I hadn't seen before, and I just thought the storytelling was amazing. How it started. It started with him meeting her the second time, but not realizing it because they wiped his head from they wiped the relationship out of his head because it turned bad. And it seemed like they were doomed to repeat the same process over and over again.
Okay. Kind of freaky, since there was a version of Wizard of Oz that I liked called Tin Man that was on Sci-Fi, and Scarecrow had a zipper for where his brain used to be.
Oh, that's lovely.
So he couldn't remember exactly what went on, And I thought that miniseries was actually kind of cool because, um, let's see, the wizard was Richard Dreyfuss, and he seemed like he was all coked up on like helium, uh, or some shit. It was
That's why his balloon won't fly anymore.
Toto.
Take it out of the-
Toto could turn into a fat black man. Um,
What?
yeah.
Was the black man Bill Cosby?
No, it was not.
Oh,
Hey,
that's unfortunate.
don't mess with my dad.
Cliff
I know he's
Huxtable.
a ghost,
Oh, the
but
ghost dad. I'm a ghost. I can't. I do a terrible Bill Cosby. I do
uh,
a pretty good Will Smith though.
no, I thought it was kind of sad because to me the whole Cosby thing, to
Oh yeah,
me
yeah.
it was like shit it was like shit that happened back then, and shit shouldn't have gone down like that to me. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, to me, everybody was giving everybody roofies back in the '70s and shit.
Oh
All
yeah.
of a sudden, one woman doesn't like it, like shit, so everybody's got to get on the money wagon.
A decade of roofies. I remember
Well,
that.
and the one that they got him on should have been past the laws of what is it, the rape
Um,
statute.
no, it was what do you call that? I should know this. I really should.
Yeah, you
Um,
should. Isn't 6 years like way past um the laws
yeah, I know what
of
you're talking about.
gravity in that situation? I know it's on the tip of your tongue, but let's
Yeah,
not
it is.
go there. What's funny is I actually have a movie that was made about Cosby, uh, making him off to be like a serial killer.
Oh man, there was a movie where what was his name? O.J. Simpson was a serial killer, or he killed somebody. He killed his wife, yeah, or something like that. And this was before the whole thing.
Well, I suppose that's better than the book that he was supposed to write about. I didn't kill Nicole, but this is how I would have done it if
It
I
was
did.
Yeah, it was called If I Did It, and they did write that. It was put out by the Goldman family actually, and I owned a copy of it at one time.
Another thing that we can thank the Kardashians for.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, that reminds me. I don't think I told you this, but I actually had an interview with the guy who did the Jeffrey Dahmer comic books
What?
back in the day. Yep. The guy who did the comic books at the time, and he he did comic books on the trials and what happened to the
Oh,
victims, and he he was actually really cool. He actually did a couple of movies. One of them was called The Garbage Man,
I think
which
you were talking to me about that.
at one point in time I think I was. His girlfriend was murdered at the time that he started filming The Garbage Man,
Oh yeah.
and he was looked at as a suspect, and because he did the comic books for Jeffrey Dahmer and shit. That was kind of a messed up shit. But anyways, uh, moving backwards. What's your favorite television show
Show?
besides Elf?
I was gonna say, oh. Recent show? I thoroughly enjoy Modern Family, actually.
I'm not sure what my favorite would be at this point in time, but I do have to say that one of my favorite shows at one point in time was Dark Shadows, the soap opera.
Dark Shadows. Yeah.
I grew up with the Dark
Oh, it's funny right now.
Shadows, and I have every single collection. I just have never finished the show. I want to before I die. I want to, but if I had to say right now, my current show that I'm trying to watch with my fiance Tammy, we're trying to watch the Dark Crystal thing from Netflix.
Oh yeah.
They came out with like 10 episodes or so, and
I did see that came out.
Age of Resistance or some shit. I love the world of Jim Henson.
Ooh, Statute of Limitations.
Yep, the Statute of Limitations. That is what I was talking about. The Statute of Limitations. Yes. Wasn't it like 4 years or some shit?
I don't know what exactly the how many years it is, but I'm just glad I remembered that.
Yeah.
That would have bothered the crap out of me.
Yeah, probably would have. But
because I knew it.
Do you remember the Legend of Zelda cartoon?
Of course I do. Yes, I do. All you had to say was Legend of Zelda, and you know what? Of course I knew it. I mean, look at my name.
They also had the Adventures of Link, I believe.
I remember the cartoon being a hell of a lot better than the CGI games.
What about the Super Mario
Brothers Super Show?
Yeah, the Super Show,
which was kind of like a variety show, which had a bunch of different stuff. That's where the Legend of Zelda cartoon originally aired, and then they had Super Mario Brothers 3, the TV show.
I remember that. It wasn't too bad, but I liked the original Super Show.
I actually owned all the episodes of Super Mario Brothers 3 on DVD at one point.
Do you remember any of the Nickelodeon game shows?
I remember Guts.
Oh God.
I remember
Wienerville.
What was the name of it? Wienerville. I remember Wienerville. Wiener. And my personal favorite was Legends of the Hidden Temple.
That one was awesome. That one was the shit. At one point in time, there was a bootlegging site that you could have bought the entire show from. I was like, at the time, I really wasn't into buying bootlegs, but shit, it looked cool.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. I remember the Silver Snakes. Was it the Golden Monkeys or something like that? The different teams they had.
Oh yeah, they had it different every time too. What was that one that they always did that green goop?
I thought that was Wienerville, wasn't it?
No,
that was wasn't Guts. Double Dare. Yeah, Double Dare.
Was it Double Dare?
Yeah, and then that guy went on. Mark Summers went on to host Unwrapped on product placement.
And of course, Danny
Unwrapped on the Food Network.
Danny Tanner from Full House was on Family's Funniest Videos.
America's Funniest Videos. I remember that. I actually love those episodes.
Joey Gladstone was on People or America's Funniest People.
I didn't know that.
For about 2 seasons. It didn't last long, but he had a little gopher that he would actually have chasing people. And
because of his puppet?
Trying to think. It was a puppet, yes. I believe.
The gopher puppet, his gopher puppet on Full House. Had a Hawaiian shirt on.
It might have been. But he did something like, ha, 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 you can't catch me. Ha, 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 or some shit like that.
That's really creepy. Cut It Out. That's what I remember from.
Oh, that was Michelle. How
No,
rude.
that was Joey who did the Cut It Out thing.
Really?
Yeah.
But then little Michelle started doing it. So I got
Stephanie did How Rude.
yeah.
And Michelle, I forget what Michelle did.
Michelle did she did the little pouty face. I
Yeah,
think.
that's right. And then there was that weird episode where there was two Michelles,
Oh God,
where she like hit her head
that
off
was
a horse or some shit. I don't know.
sisters actually got the starlight. Both sisters got the starlight for the first time.
Yeah, they did.
Well, and from what I
And there was
understand,
a crossover episode where Urgo showed up.
God, we watched. What about Family Matters?
That theme song is permanently stuck in my head.
I liked the episode when they went to Universal Studios. And then Steve Urkel came back as Stefan. So,
damn it.
I don't know why, but I liked him better as Stefan, even though the real Steve Urkel turned out to be kind of an asshole.
Julia White.
Julia White. That was what's her name? Who was Steve Urkel's girlfriend, right?
No, Jaleel. Jaleel White was the guy who played Urkel.
Oh, Julio White, right?
Jaleel.
Okay.
Jaleel. Google it, you'll find it.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
Google is good for everything.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I find a lot of shit on there. Did you ever watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the cartoon?
I absolutely did.
I remember when I remember having a VHS of the first movie.
I had a VHS of 1 and 2. Years.
I remember the little turtles in the very beginning saying pizza, pizza.
Yeah.
Pepperoni.
Pizza. Hold on.
Yep.
I gotta do something. I gotta plug my phone in.
Yeah, it's probably done, isn't it? That's fine. I think I remember. What do you remember any Bruce Willis movies?
Bruce Willis. I remember a lot of Bruce Willis movies. Mercury Rising. Brian took me to see Mercury Rising when it came out.
Okay. I'm not sure if I saw
Fifth Element was my favorite one.
I think I went and saw Armageddon with Brian.
I saw Armageddon, but it wasn't with Brian. And I still think that's an overrated movie, actually.
Hey, as of movies that I remember seeing in the theater with my family, and which kind of surprised me, was where my dad actually took us to see Jurassic Park in the theater. My mom, my dad, my sister, and I. That was the first time that, because I was really into dinosaurs myself, and I remember seeing the McDonald's commercials about the Happy Meals.
When they had decent Happy Meal toys.
Well, yeah, when they had decent Happy Meal Happy Meal toys, they used to bring that cage in the very beginning out, and you heard the dump, do do do, dum doo-doo-doo. And then all of a sudden, through the leaves, the cage opened, and your Happy Meal was there.
Yeah. I remember the Flintstones Happy Meal toys.
Okay, I remember.
And the Batman Returns Happy Meal toys.
Oh God.
Which was the second movie I saw in theaters, was Batman Returns.
Oh wait, let me show you something. You'll actually be proud of me for these.
Also, a very good Tim Burton movie.
Where did I stick those? Are those up there? No. Those have got to be. Oh no.
Where did he stick those?
Those are actually.
Leave a comment in chat if you know where he stuck them.
I know what they are. I can show you what they are, but they're in storage.
Oh.
They are remember Casper?
Oh yeah, I remember Casper.
Okay, well, remember they came out with these hand puppets.
Yeah, of the ghosts.
Yeah, I have all.
They were like like a thick rubber.
Yep, I have all 4 of those.
Yeah. And I think they glowed in the dark, didn't they?
Yep, they glowed in the dark too. There was one of Casper. There was one of Stinky. There was one of
Stretch.
And
Fatso and Stretch. Yeah.
Stretch.
I really liked that movie actually growing up.
Oh, Casper? Yeah. That was a movie to remember. I think. I mean, I think they did really well with that particular film. And I guess it got me out of thinking of, for Wednesday.
Christina Ricci. Yeah.
Yeah. Christina Ricci, she started to look cute after a certain time. I have to agree.
And then something happened. I don't know what happened to her.
Yeah, she kind of after Cursed, she got cursed.
Yeah, the movie cursed her career.
Actually, after that one, she was in this one movie where she was a post-mortem. She was like and she played alongside Liam Neeson a little bit. And then I think she played Hatchet. What is that? The Legend of Lizzie Borden. Lizzie Borden. She played Lizzie in a TV movie and a series of that, and that one wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I never seen it, but I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then her career kind of went dead after that.
Yeah,
but anything else that you wanted to talk about, or
kind of? Since you brushed the topic there at the end, movies that killed actors' careers.
Oh,
they killed them.
Okay. Which one do you think killed someone's career?
I think Batman and Robin nearly killed like 5 actors' careers. And I think it definitely killed Alicia Silverstone's career.
Well, I definitely think so. Just a little bit. I mean,
it was just so awful.
It was off the wall. I was not a fan of that particular one, but Batman Forever, I was a fan of. Batman Returns. My thing with that one is I didn't get to see that one as much as I saw Batman. And I grew up with the 60s Batman a little bit more than I did the 90s Batman. So
Adam West and Ward.
Yep. I love that show. In fact, I have that entire series on DVD. I just love the comic book style where you went bang, pow, crash, boom, and let's see. It kind of reminded me of a game that I played. I
Oh,
don't know
that's
if
pretty cool.
yeah, I
They had
go ahead. You remember when they had yes.
I actually forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, the episode where the original bad Green Hornet showed up.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
it was two-parter because it was all of them.
I forgot that those two had a crossover.
Yep.
And I wish that when they did the Green Hornet, I actually liked the Green Hornet that Seth Rogen was in. I don't know if you saw that one.
I did. I saw it once.
Oh.
I've been chain smoking for some reason.
Well, in any case, I think that's all the time we have for today, folks. So thank you for listening to our random conversation. And I just wanted to try this out. This is one of my friends from high school. He just got out of the military, and I was just so glad to go on about some of the films that we've seen, some of the television shows, just some of our experiences and our pastimes. So thank you for listening. Have a great day, evening, and morning, wherever you are, and hopefully you enjoy the conversation. So tune in next time when you may or may not hear us talk about random shit. So in any case. Catch you later, folks. Say good night, Mr. J.
Good night, Mr.
No,
Like Harley Quinn.
great folks. Good night, Mr. J. From the Jetsons, Rosie. All right.
That was creepy.